Hey everybody, this is Royal. I am with Dalynn Hare of Essential Timing Solutions. This is the Skills Makes You Meal segment of the Paternity University podcast, the YouTube channel. So I interview different service-based business owners and kind of how they got their start and how they're operating their business now. So Dalynn, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I cannot complain. Every single day above ground is a good day.
Absolutely.
Yeah, dope. So Dalynn, tell us a little bit about your background and how you eventually got into starting Essential Timing Solutions, your virtual assistant business.
So my background is actually in higher education. So I worked in the field of higher ed for 9 years. Prior to doing that, I was actually an independent insurance agent. So I did Medicare Advantage plans and life insurance. So getting back to entrepreneurship is not new for me. I did that for 3 years before I went into higher ed. So, but I was also single then, and I also didn't have a kid. So, it's just me, and it worked for my lifestyle, and it was perfect. But then I always tell people that higher ed kind of found me. I started working with first generation college students, just like myself. Just started out simply as a tutor. And then that led to a full-time position. And I just moved up the ranks from there. And then a couple years ago, my best friend, her younger sister, started her virtual assistant company. And I wanted to start it then, which was 2 years ago. But I got the material from her. And I just felt like that time was not the right time for me. So then another best friend of mine, she actually started her virtual assistant company, and she took Annalisa's course, 3-day virtual assistant bootcamp. And she was like, hey, I really think you should look into it. I'm doing well. And I took the course. Literally, I wrote down my goals. I said a prayer, took the course, and then I finished it and had my client within 2 weeks.
Oh, that's so dope.
Yeah.
That is incredibly dope. So what for the people who may not know, what does a virtual assistant do?
So a virtual assistant can do many different tasks. So you'll have administrative virtual assistants, and then you'll have social media managers. So when it comes to the administrative virtual assistants, there is tons of things they can do. They can manage podcasts. They can manage your YouTube channel. They can simply do email management, calendar management, do your travel arrangements and accommodations. For me, I'm moving more into the technical side. So like building websites, building sales pages, assisting business owners with developing and launching their courses. So there is no limit when it comes to being a virtual assistant. But if you can do anything administratively or manage anybody's social media pages or accounts, then you can definitely start as a virtual assistant.
Okay, for sure. So yeah, a lot of folks, have kind of had skills that they bring from either their career that they had or maybe another business that they operated before. So it seems like a very good fit, to take those skills and essentially offer it to anybody, a business owner or just somebody who's very busy who can't do some of these tasks.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, like myself, like I said, I'm very close to hiring a virtual assistant. I think I've asked you a couple of times in the DMs about hiring a virtual assistant and what I should be looking out for to answer my calls for my business, because my wife is back at work and she can't answer every single call all the time. Now our call volume goes up and down, so she can answer most of them, but there are some calls that she has to answer, and if she can't answer them, well, I got to have a virtual assistant on staff to do that. So tell us about your journey in starting and then managing your virtual assistant business. How many clients have you worked with so far?
So I have had some clients that are project based, and that means like I've done like one-off things for them. And then I have other clients that have been consistent. So far, I think I've had a total of 8 clients now.
Nice.
Not at one time, because that does become a lot. And I would never recommend anybody to probably have more than 4 clients at a time anyway, just so that you can manage your schedule, because you still need to have that mental downtime too. But I think I've had 8 clients so far. I have 3 that have been with me almost a year, which is great. So the way that I would say, just using those skills from your 9 to 5 or whatever your career field may be, figure out how those translate into being a virtual assistant, because I knew out the gate, like I wanted to help business owners create courses. I just wasn't sure how big the market for that was. But as you know, like I know, everybody has a digital product, whether it's an ebook, whether it's a simple online course or like a mastermind. So definitely figure out how your career path relates to being a virtual assistant, and just do your market research, because that's very important. But, definitely getting started. I wasn't really discouraged because my first client, I literally clicked follow on Twitter, and they inboxed me and was like, hey, I'm always looking for virtual assistants. What do you like to do? And I had that client for probably about 6 months last year, and it was great, and we're still cool. They just needed more in-person services versus virtual services.
That's dope. That's dope. So speaking of courses, I think you've talked about, you tweeted a couple of times here and there about eventually starting your own course, right?
Yes.
So in the educational kind of field, educational digital products. So I guess if you don't want to reveal too much, that's cool. But do you want to talk about that, or kind of what you want to do with that information?
Yeah, so I have 2 different products that I will be launching. One is all about systems, so it'll be called the Essential Systems Masterclass. And basically that course will be for new entrepreneurs, walking them through how to set up a customer relationship management system. Most likely it will be Honeybook, a complete Honeybook walkthrough. How to set up your expense tracking system, which is basically your payment processing system, whether it be PayPal, Stripe, or QuickBooks. How to create social media content and also schedule that content so that your business can be fully operational, even if you still have a 9-to-5. So we'll go through all of those systems and some other ones. So project management systems, there's more. So I'm going to do that for new entrepreneurs. And I also have a ebook plus workbook currently called Let's Talk Systems for New Entrepreneurs, where if you are just starting, you don't know about systems, what to put in place, you can get that ebook plus workbook at the link in my bio, but I'll also give it to you too, Royal. But that's a great place to start. Yeah. And then I'll also be doing not necessarily an online course, but me and another VA colleague are partnering to help business owners actually launch and scale their online digital products.
No. So let's talk about systems for a little bit, because that's applicable in a lot of businesses. A lot of business owners may not have the systems lined up. So you said a CRM, payment processing, and then you said one more, CRM, payment processing, and another one.
Social media and project management.
There it is. Okay. Mm-hmm. So let's go one by one. So what is a customer relationship management software? What is it doing? Why is it important to business owners?
So your CRM system, which is what we always call it, is good to house all of your clients' information. So, their name, their business name, email, phone number. However, now CRM systems, you can house their profile. You can use it to schedule. So if you want to schedule appointments, you can put a calendar out there with a link and have your clients be able to schedule with you that way. You can also send invoices through a CRM system. You can set up email workflows. So a simple workflow would be, you do an inquiry, you book an appointment, we meet. I can trigger a workflow to send you an email as soon as we're done to say, hey, thank you for giving me time within your schedule to talk about virtual assistant services. And then, if we move forward, then I'll send you a contract, I'll send you an invoice, and then the workflow will trigger it to also send you something else to schedule your onboarding process. So that is in a CRM system, as well as project management now. So those tasks that your clients ask you to complete, you can actually go in there and put them in a CRM system, and your client can see them as you work on them. So really, getting a CRM system eliminates some of the other systems that you really don't need to purchase.
Okay, dope. Let's try this. Let's try like a live kind of walkthrough. You seem like your stuff. All right. So let's just say I am a plumber. I'm an independent plumber. Okay. Walk me through a CRM walkthrough. So let's say I'm a plumber. I accept a call from a client and I get the client's information. The client wants me to come out next week to do a plumbing. How would I use the CRM system to make sure that everything is squared away, to make sure I'm tracking that client and communication is good to go?
So the simple step, you get a call from the plumber. and you have your CRM system, as they're giving you their information. So you want to know, hey, can you tell me your name? I need an email. I need a phone number. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You also want to put that company's name in your CRM system. Mm-hmm. Once you put that in there, you can schedule them manually from your scheduling system. So schedule that appointment, say Monday at 1 p.m. Okay. Once I get that in the system, I can create a workflow where it triggers any new person that makes an appointment with me. The workflow will send them, hey, thank you for scheduling this appointment. Can you please click the link and complete this questionnaire? Okay. Mm-hmm. Once they complete the questionnaire, the next step will say, thank you for completing your questionnaire. Someone will be out to your home Monday at 1 p.m. So once that is complete, you'll put it in there, appointment is complete, and trigger another workflow to say your appointment is complete. Please complete this survey, give us a review, give us a testimonial, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I love it. I say that because I had an experience with a plumber last week. Speaking of which, I need to hit him up. He is good at his job, so technically proficient, but I could tell that he was doing everything himself. I could just tell. And I think clients can tell that. Like if you hire somebody for whatever, they can tell when you do everything on your own. You have no system whatsoever. So like, he came out to my house and was like, all right, I can do this one job. I paid him the spot, whatever. I had 2 jobs I had to do that I needed him to do. Mm-hmm. He did the first one. They went upstairs to start the second one. He was like, oh, shoot, I have to go get a very specific part for this job. I'm like, all right, okay. He's like, I'll come back at X time. I was like, okay, cool, because I need to go get a haircut anyway. Fine, cool. After my haircut, I'm the one that contacts him. Like, hey, you gonna come back? He's like, yeah. Can I come back at like 5:30? I'm like, okay. 5:30 comes. I don't hear anything from him. 6 o'clock. Hey, hey man, where you at? Can you come back? Oh, can I come back tomorrow? Next day. That time comes the next day. Oh man, family emergency. I can't do anything. I'll just refund you your money. I can't come out. And I'm like, man, it just let me know, he was a solopreneur, was doing everything himself. Because I asked him, I was like, when do you stop doing jobs? And he was like, when I get the last call for the day. I'm like, you don't have like a cutoff time or what project management do you have? Like what systems? And that can affect your business if you think about it. And that's the importance of virtual business.
Totally. And I think people fail to realize that you should have a cutoff. If you can only do 3 jobs in a day, do those 3 jobs and do them correctly, instead of trying to do 6 jobs and then, leave you guys in a bind to where, oh, now I have a family emergency. I'm not even going to be able to complete the job. Yep.
I'm not going to lie. Sometimes it is every random once in a while. I have my business phone set to do not disturb after like, I think 8 p.m. or something like that. And we stop accepting calls at 7 p.m. But every once in a while I get a call at like 7:23 and I answer it, and it like makes my wife, and she's like, why are you answering the phone? Like, I'm like, this money. She's like, no, we have a cutoff time. They need to understand that because it says it on the Google profile. It says like this business closes at 7 p.m.
Right.
Respect that. And you need to respect our time together. Instead of trying to call out, all right, fine. Okay, so what about automated social media marketing? What's the importance of that?
So the importance of it is, and I heard an entrepreneur, she said, I was in labor about to give birth to my son, and she had like a partnership and she needed to post this content. And it was like, she was trying to post the content while she was in labor. But had you had a virtual assistant, or if you had a social media manager, or just simply had automated that, the content would have been out there.
Yeah.
So the good thing about social media automation is you can batch your content. So whether that's your reels, your stories, or if you just want to use graphics and schedule them. Of course, there are tons of apps. You can use Planoly, you can use Later, you can use Hootsuite. My favorite one to use, because most businesses operate on Facebook and Facebook and Instagram, is to use the Facebook Business Suite. So just use that to schedule all your content, and it'll post to both accounts at the same time. The good thing about Planoly now is they have a Reels feature. So now you can schedule your Reels on Planoly, and now they will post for you, which is a hot commodity right now because nobody else is really doing that. You have to manually post Reels.
That's dope. Yeah, I use Hootsuite because I think for my digital courses and stuff like that, the vast majority, actually like probably 100% actually, of the people who buy my course come from Twitter.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna lie, I haven't even tried to advertise nothing on Facebook. I would do stuff on Instagram every once in a while, but I think, I don't know, maybe the audiences are different. On Twitter, you have people who want to be entrepreneurs, who want to set up a different source of income. On Instagram, I noticed that the content that I post that are clips from like paternity court or Mari, people respond to that a lot more than me saying, hey, I made $10,000 and I'll show you how to make that money doing paternity tests. And they're like, we don't care about that. We care about the juicy stuff. You know what I mean? People on TikTok, like even on TikTok, I'll post more informational stuff, and I still get engagement from posts that I've made last year on TikTok for informational stuff. And like people will hit me up, they'll email me and be like, I got a paternity test from this other company. What about this? And I'm like, okay, you know, I'll even post stuff about how to make money, but they don't care about Twitter. Oh, and YouTube. Oh yeah, they all care about that. So I use Hootsuite and I just automate it. But it is important. You're right. Like you said, if that woman who was in labor would have had a virtual assistant or at least had automated that post, she would not be trying to, that should be the last thing on your mind. If you're in labor, like,
yeah, but when they're brand partnerships,
that branding, that's the check though. That's
we gotta get this post out here.
Yeah, that's the baby food. That's the whatever baby formula you could find. That's the money for that one. So
right. And it was an amazing story. I was so happy that she shared it because, you know, there's a lot of things that we do as entrepreneurs behind the scenes that, you know, people would never even think about or consider, you know?
Yeah. No, that's definitely so what, you know, when people hire a virtual assistant, can they kind of order services a la carte? Like, oh, I specifically want you to answer phones and to document who called and to do follow-ups, and that's it. Or can they pick from certain packages? Like, I guess it just depends on the virtual assistant. How much money should someone expect to spend with a virtual assistant for the services in general?
Yeah, so you can do a package, you can do a la carte services, whichever one that you need. When I go into my appointments, like I have listed, you know, what I can do administrative wise. However, I always tell my clients, tell me what you need assistance with, because the virtual assistant industry is so broad. You know, you may just need help with scheduling your classes on Zoom, doing course support, meaning somebody is actually logged into your Zoom class while you're teaching to assist with any technical difficulties. You may not even need email and calendar management, you know, so really your packages should cater to the client and their needs. But if it's just, you know, one-off services, or if it's something that's not included in your package, for sure, just add it on as an a la carte service. When you hire a virtual assistant, you should be looking to invest at least $1,000 a month. And that's with your VA, I think, making $25 an hour. So, which is reasonable. You're not paying health insurance, you're not paying taxes, you're not paying overhead costs and all that stuff. So definitely, if you're looking to start with a virtual assistant, expect to start at about $1,000 a month.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I think that amount invested on or about $1,000 can kind of help you bring that peace of mind and knowing that you have somebody there dedicated as a system to assist you. And so that you're not like old Joe the plumber over here who money, you know, and you can and Mr. Plumber here or Mr. DNA agency owner over here can focus on strategy, can focus on how to obtain more clients, you know, do other stuff to make more money. Leave the task, the ankle biter task, to somebody else who's really good at that, and let them do that.
Right.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. And I mean, hey, a testament to you, Dalynn. I mean, you've done a couple of virtual assistant tasks for me. making a couple of my course flyers. You made a brochure for my paternity testing services. I believe, I think so, that you sent off to the courts out there. And I got some good responses to that, by the way. I don't think I told you.
Oh, that's good.
Yes, thank you.
That makes me happy.
Yeah,
that makes me really happy.
That was dope, because I would just send in little emails and I get no response. And then I sent it with that brochure and got a response from basically the judge, essentially, that was like, all right, we will use this brochure for our court out in Dallas. And I'm like, dope. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
I mean, I've sold a couple of courses based off the course brochure. So yeah, I appreciate it. The things that you have done, and you're very professional. Yeah. So wrapping up, tell us, any tips that you have for anybody looking to get into the virtual assistant world, who's looking to get started, either take a course or learn what they can from YouTube. What tips do you have for anybody that's looking to get started in the virtual assistant world?
So the first tip would be to take out a plain sheet of paper and a pen and write down everything that you are good at, because trust me, there is a market for it. Also, just to grow at your own pace, don't try to grow at anyone else's pace. The one question that we hear in the VA world all the time is, I can't find a client, I can't get my first client, and I always tell people, it's not about getting the client, it's about being ready when the client comes.
Yeah, that's real.
So are you prepared for that one client to even come, or are you just looking just to work, just to get started, But definitely take a course, even though entrepreneurship wasn't new to me, I took the course to learn more about the VA industry, about contracting and things like that. So definitely take some type of course to get started. And then, just market yourself and be patient. Entrepreneurship is not a rush game. It's all about having patience and being able to sit in your sit in your waiting season, but just be ready whenever your clients come, for sure.
Oh, you're right. I would say another thing too is, I would say a comment that I have a question for you is, when I was looking for a virtual assistant, and I basically found my virtual assistant. It's just the time frame in which I'm going to hire her. I found her. She's perfect. But one thing that she did that I really liked, because I asked on Twitter, I got some recommendations from you and a couple of other people, found her, I talked to her, I basically interviewed her. And what the dope thing that she did was she followed up every 2 weeks. Like, hey, bro, I know we talked a couple of weeks ago. Here's all the stuff that you'd like me to do. This is what I can do for you. This is my price. And I'm like, I got you. It's great. I'm waiting on my wife to start work to determine what it's going to be like. Stand by. Okay, cool. Then she hit me up again. Hey, Ro. I'm like, good, perfect. You're following up. You're staying on top of my mind. There's a couple of others that I spoke to that I never heard from again. And that's a testament to her work ethic. So if you're listening, you know who you are. You got the job, you got it. All right. So my other question for you, Dalynn, is how should virtual assistants reach out to potential business owners who have a problem? Should it be a cold email? Should it be a cold call? Could it be a Twitter DM? Or could it be a combination of a lot of things? How should they reach out to business owners who have a problem?
Yeah, it should definitely be a combination of different reach out methods. So you can DM business owners. I will say they may already have a virtual assistant, so it's probably gonna be the VA that you're talking to anyway.
Yeah.
So for me, I would tell people to, send a cold email and say, include in there, hey, if you are the virtual assistant or the OBM, which is an online business manager or office business manager, and you know of any tasks that your client is looking to outsource, here are the services that I provide if they need additional assistance. Because we are the gatekeepers, to a lot of small business email accounts. So, the business owner, they may see the email, they may not. However, if you kind of address the email with a VA, hey, if you are a virtual assistant and you are reading this, these are the services that I can offer if your client needs additional assistance. Would you mind passing this information along? So it's all about being courteous and thinking outside the box of who could potentially be reading that email or that DM on the other side.
I think there is a massive market for virtual assistants, especially US based virtual assistants, because
Yes.
some folks may not want to hire, you see the Philippines or et cetera,
Mm-hmm.
virtual assistants, they may not want to hire because of either the time difference or maybe of some form of a language barrier. So they will probably pay a premium for US based virtual assistants. And there are so many businesses out there, small, either very small kind of family owned businesses or small, small less than 100 employees type businesses that
Mm-hmm.
don't have anybody to outsource. They don't outsource any of their tasks. Like I said, like Mr. Joe Plumber over here, who don't have anybody. And if you can convince them you're worth your weight in gold, then
Mm-hmm.
they will probably pay you good money to manage their business for them. So Dalynn, go ahead and drop all your socials and your website for the people so they can find you.
So you can follow me on any platform at Essential Time and Solutions. On Instagram, it is at Essential Time and Solutions with the underscore at the very end. My website is essentialtimeandsolutionsba.com. You can check out all of my packages, services, also my business strategy sessions and accountability calls. I do offer those to other new entrepreneurs. And then also be sure to check out my Let's Talk systems for new entrepreneurs. That is a ebook plus workbook. It is completely fillable and you can track your progress as you go. So that is me and that is who I am.
I love it. It sounds like you had that joint rehearsed.
Look, you better have your elevator pitch together.
Gotta have it. You gotta have the talking points right. I love it. You had that joint rehearsed. I say I was professional. Dalynn, thank you so much for coming on. I really do appreciate it. I'm really, trying to do this series to interview dope service-based business owners out here that I met on Twitter and kind of essentially worked with over time. So
yeah.
I can vouch for your work. Thank you so much for coming on. Everybody, look, if you like this video, go ahead and like and subscribe to Paternity University. Please follow Dalynn. She has a wealth of information. It's also good to see her on her journey in building her business as well, continuing to build it. If you yourself are looking to, set up an additional source of income, low startup costs, there is the paternity testing industry. I have plenty of videos and content on that. You can check out paternityuniversity.com, subscribe here. And yeah, that's a good business to get into. It's essentially a recession-proof too, just like virtual assistants. So thank y'all very much. And until next time, y'all have a great evening.